Welcome to the Bodaciously Awesome Family Show. Bodaciously Awesome Family Show. The only show dedicated to helping parents maximize their kids' experiences and for kids to reap the fun. Here are your hosts, the Bodacious family, Adam, Anthony, and Zach.
Yeah! Welcome! Well,
already starting the segment? Okay.
Welcome back to Bodaciously.
Awesome. Show.
I am your host, Adam.
I'm Antonio.
And Zach, he has the night off, as his mom. It's just us.
Mm-hmm.
The double A's.
Adam and Anthony.
The killer bees.
No. That's not it.
No.
You know what neither one of our names have in them? A bee.
Yeah, in any part of the name, actually. There's any of our names all combined. No.
Zero bees.
But there is a P in my name.
Oh yeah, that makes
that's like a B, but without the lower bump.
That makes up for it.
I'm just saying. So, welcome back, and hey, Anthony, where can people find us?
Yes, they can.
They can. That is true. And so today's episode, we're talking about a movie that came out recently, and I don't know if it's because pandemic went right to Netflix or if Netflix just was always the vehicle. We're talking about the movie called Army of the Dead.
Yes, I have not seen it. Dad has.
Yes, and that's so. In a weird, can we do this with Justice League / the hashtag the Snyder Cut? So we thought, again, with a new Zack Snyder movie, trying this again, and although I don't have cue cards for you this time.
No, you do not.
So you're just going to kind of ask some questions based on the trailer.
And the 5 seconds I walked into and saw.
Yes, and then anything else, from how I phrase things, if you're like, hey, wait a minute, was he really joking about robot zombies, or should I ask about that?
Were you really joking about robot zombies, or should I ask about that?
Spoilers.
Oh, no. Zack Snyder, what are you doing, man?
Exactly. See?
Okay, so the first thing I have to ask with the Zack Snyder movie is how long is it? Because this guy it seems like he likes to make very long movies for no reason.
That's a good question. And it's funny because the preview came on, Netflix autoplay. And Mom and I were watching, flipping through, and the preview comes on. She's like, "Oh, it's a little zombie movie. That might be a fun thing to watch." This is like still school's in session. It's like on Wednesday night or something. And I'm like, "It's 2 hours and 40 minutes."
Oh my lord!
Which is what Mom said. That's it. She's like, oh, "Are you kidding?" I'm like, "I'm not kidding." She's like, "It's a 2 hours and 40 minute zombie movie." I'm like, "Yeah, it's super long. It's like Godfather long."
Because Zack Snyder, really. It's the only reason.
Because of Zack Snyder. So this may be the most Zack Snyder-y movie to ever Zack. So Zack Snyder wrote it, and he directed it, and he produced it, and he's the director of photography.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big, being the DP, that many times you have the director and DP as the same person. That's a pretty big dual role.
Well, his big thing is his movies are visually cool.
He does have a great visual style. So I think I told you this. I love the idea of Zack Snyder, but in practice, I find his movies going from a scale of unwatchable to mild curiosity of boredom. So on one scale, you have things like. And I might be in the minority, but Sucker Punch and 300 and Watchmen, I find are absolutely abysmally bad, unwatchable messes. Although they all look amazing.
Right.
And then you jump.
Isn't 300 a pretty famous good movie though?
It's a famous movie.
Oh.
And there are people that think it's good. They're all wrong.
Oh, okay.
And if you watch it, you're like, okay, there's some good action, and it looks so cool. It absolutely is captivating to watch because of its look. It's just beyond boring. And it's also it's a big fight scene for I don't know, it's like 7 hours long, it's 2 hours, and it looks cool. It looks like a comic book, and you're bored.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then he jumps to his DC movies, and Man of Steel is not enjoyable. It's okay, except for that Superman's a jerk, and at one point he's contemplating, she just kill people, and his dad's like, yeah, sure, why not, or let people die, which is weird. And then you have Batman vs Superman, which is awful, but it's not good.
Isn't that the movie that ends with them saying, our moms have the last name, and then them hugging and oh, we're friends now?
Yeah, they're friends because they found out their moms have the same name. Yeah, that's true. That's the big twist.
But they're not even the same person.
No, they're different moms, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but like, and like,
And no
Batman,
point really, just asking.
Yeah, no, Batman and Superman like covered in kryptonite or whatever. He's beat him up like, "Rrr!" And then Superman's like, "Oh, tell Martha I say goodbye." And then Batman's like, "Why did you say that name?" And then they're like, "My mom's name's Miss Eartha." He's like, "My mom's name's Martha." And they're like, "Wait a minute, maybe you're not a bad guy."
Because that proves a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty much, yeah. And then, so then we go to Justice League, where he had to leave the movie due to a family tragedy, which is unfortunate, but then got to remake it later, or re-release it later as a 4-hour epic. And we did a podcast on that, and that was surprisingly not awful. Like, that might be my favorite Zack Snyder movie.
Oh, jeez. Until now?
Yeah. Army of Dead now is my favorite Zack Snyder movie.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. It's by far, it's the most watchable, by far the best, great visual look. I mean, it's still not what you'd call recommendable. I mean, it's like, it's all a lot of grading. It's all sliding scale.
Why don't we just ask this? So, first of all, just watching the trailer, I'm very confused about a couple of things.
Okay.
So, do the zombies have, like, their own society in Las Vegas?
Kinda.
That really helped.
So the movie, the timeline of the movie is weird because basically the movie starts with like some army people leaving Area 51 with a big box, and there's an accident, and the big box breaks open, and there's like a zombie guy in it near Vegas. And so then you assume he infects Las Vegas, and they try to bomb Vegas with napalm and whatever. They wall it off so they can contain it, right? So the zombie breakout is contained within the city limits of Vegas because the U.S. Army has surrounded it. And there's like two types of zombies. There's like the regular zombies that you know and love, the shamblers that are just the walkers, whatever. And then there's like these superhuman, super fast zombies. Because, right. And they do have like this own society where you get the point where they can communicate, and there's definitely a hierarchy, and there's an alpha, but then there's these fast zombies, and there's the slower zombies. And you get the impression that this has been going on for a long time. Like there's camps and settlements around it, and Batista, like it was closer, as far as Batista, and you find out like his wife was there, and then he tried to get her out, like when it first happened, and then he couldn't, and he had to kill her. Now he has like a job as a waiter, and he's really mad about her, or a short order cook. He doesn't like life or whatever. And now the government's gonna like bomb and like nuke Vegas is kind of the plot to get rid of all the zombies, which makes sense. But you'd think they'd be doing that relatively quickly, right? Like you'd think that'd be like within zombie apocalypse, we couldn't contain it, let's nuke the city. But it really feels like there's been like a year or two that's gone by. So yeah, there's some zombie society to answer your question. Zombie society, you got that. Yeah. See, you didn't like my yes answer, so there you go.
So it's a zombie heist movie. Just clarifying that. That's what I got from the trailer. I'm just clarifying.
It is a zombie heist movie. I would say this is like the gold standard of zombie heist movies. This is like the Casablanca of zombie heist movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the greatest zombie heist movie of all time?
I do. I do think this is the greatest zombie heist movie.
Are there any zombie heist movies that come close to it?
There are not.
There are not.
There are not.
Okay.
But here's the thing, and you weren't going to ask this, but I'm going to kind of preface this with you here. If you saw a zombie heist movie, you've seen the trailer, and you think, okay, obviously it borrows from all zombie movies, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, whatever, obviously. Right. And it's a zombie heist movie in Vegas, so obviously it's going to borrow a lot from
Ocean's 11.
Exactly. I would say, if this movie is a remake of another movie, this movie is not a remake of Ocean's 11.
What is it a remake of?
This movie is this movie is a very clear remake of Aliens. They can't see your look.
I know. The silence, I think, covers it.
the one chew of gum.
What?
This movie...
No. I heard the words. They just don't make sense.
So, and I haven't seen anybody else write or mention this, but as I'm watching this, and the basic plot is the basic same. Group of soldier of some nature going into infested area, remote area of some nature, in a contained whatever, where there is killing, biological killing machines, right? So the basic premise is the same. Whatever the MacGuffin is about how they're trying to get out or leave or whatever becomes irrelevant, but that part's more or less the same. They're obviously heavily armed. They're going into a place where there's not a lot of people. They're encountering all these biological weapons. Then not to give it away, but there's a bad guy who's working for the quote-unquote man, the corporation, the whatever, the evil shadowy guy / the U.S. government, who wants like a vial of blood or a still talking zombie head as like a way to like, get the whatever so they can make mass produce biological weapons and create a zombie army of the dead. And that's kind of like the point, much like they do in Aliens. Even to the point where at one point, one of the characters looks at this guy and goes, I don't know which of these is worse. You don't see them, fighting over profit, which is almost an exact line from Aliens. Mm-hmm. The end of the movie, they find out Vegas is going to get nuked like a day earlier, so they got to get out. So now all of a sudden you have the same running clock as you do at the end of Aliens. They got to get out. They get out by a helicopter that's sitting like on a platform on the top of a building. And then at one point, Batista's like, oh wait, I have to go back and try to find my daughter. And then so they kind of escape. He then leaves, tries to come back, and the helicopter's not there. Whoops. And then they comes back and rescues him and she's like, I know you're probably wondering, but that platform is unstable. Like, it's shockingly Aliens.
That definitely sounds a lot like Aliens. Yeah. Are there any, obviously, zombies. Is there, like, an actual heist plan that's, like, good?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me if there's any aliens.
Are there any aliens?
So, here's the thing.
Oh, no.
I don't think there's any aliens. But... so they do talk about Area 51, and that's where the zombie, the first one came from. And supposedly, I have not gone back to rewatch this, but apparently, like, during the beginning scene, when that first zombie escapes, you see in the skyline what appears to be like a UFO. I have not gone back to look at that, but there could actually be aliens for all as you know.
It could be all aliens.
That and the robot zombies.
So, let's go to the robot zombies then.
Oh, so you want to go back to the heist question?
No, let's do robot zombies first. Then we can do, the plot and stuff. Robot zombies? Are they there?
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, Lord.
I honestly did not see the robot zombies. However, apparently they are definitely a thing where Zach Snyder has come out to talk about them. And that he's like, have you noticed that some of them have they're like glowing blue eyes, or you see some of their flesh separate, and there's obviously like a robot underneath. Now, ask me if the robot zombies have any part of the plot.
Hey, Dad.
Yes, sir.
Do the robot zombies have any part in the plot?
No, none.
Okay.
To the point, if they're there, random background. So now Zack Snyder can go out and be like, hey, did you see the robot zombies? And I'm like, no, dog. Where are they? And he's like, oh, dog, you gotta watch it again. Robot zombies. And I'm like, well, why? And he's like, because I'm Zack Snyder.
Right. Kind of like the zombie lion in the trailer.
Okay, the zombie tiger's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, does it have a part in the plot too?
Yeah, so the zombie tiger, even has a backstory.
Really?
It does.
Let me hear the zombie tiger backstory.
I'll give you the entire zombie tiger backstory, is that he was a tiger in the Siegfried and Roy show, and then escaped and became a zombie.
Deep.
It is.
That's not a backstory. That's an explanation for why it's there. That's a different thing.
Same difference in this movie. And that's fair. That's as much of a backstory as you're getting for the tigers or the zombie tiger. And it kind of just prowls around the city, and it does occasionally come and play. And first of all, it looks really cool. And then, obviously it eats the bad guy in incredibly gory fashion. Just rips its head right off and then squishes it like a big like a watermelon between its jaws. Blood squirting everywhere.
Now I want to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, so this movie, even though it's on this year, we are talking about this on the Bodacious Awesome Family Show, is not a family-friendly movie. It's a hard R for a lot of gore and probably a lot of language. I don't remember, but it's a lot of gore. The zombie killing is pretty bloody.
I want to watch it.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yay!
So what other questions you got?
So is the actual heist well made, or they're we're gonna go to the vault and take out the money?
It's mostly that, but. There is it's not like Ocean's 11 planning, but it's probably better than Ocean's 13 planning, where they actually kind of do lay out some ideas of what's going to happen and where, and some of the obvious plot holes that you can think of, how do they get the plans of the buildings to know where the vault is, they answer. So that way you have answers to some of them. But some of those answers lead to other questions that don't make any sense.
Example.
Okay, so, the plot is that the owner of this casino says, hey, in the vault, there's $200 million. You get it out, you get 50. I get the rest. because my insurance company's already paid me for it. So basically, he's just trying to double dip, right? So you go. So that's why there's the helicopter's there. He knows where it is. He can say, "Here's the helicopter. It's on top of this building. It's right here. Here's the plans to the vault. Here's how you get to the vault. Here's everything you need to be able to get in once you're inside Vegas to get into the casino and get the money out." So all that is set up.
So they have the vault password too?
No. They don't have that. That was nice. You picked up. That was the answer. Yeah. No, they don't have that.
But why wouldn't he know that one?
No. He doesn't give them the password or the key or the anything. He just says, here's the diagram, and then says you should probably go find yourself a safe cracker.
But
he owns the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
All right.
So they get the safe cracker, who has to then try to figure out. He also forgets to tell them that the entire place is like booby trapped, like the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and there's that too. There's at one point there's like poisoned arrows. At one point it's like a flamethrower or something, and then at one point like they bring a zombie in just to test everything, and it walks in, and then the walls like come in really fast, go blam, and like splatter blood everywhere.
So let me get straight. It's like Raiders meets Aliens meets Ocean's 11 meets Day of the Walking Dead.
Right, yeah. With some robot zombies.
So Terminator.
Well, yes, actually, Terminator, because I haven't even mentioned the time travel yet.
I'm getting up. You can't hear it. It's
what?
But so time travel.
So the question is, since you mentioned Terminator and robot zombies, the question is to you here. I asked you this, Anthony. Do you think that I'm serious there's time travel in this movie, or that I just made it up given that you just made that reference?
Well, given you just said that the timeline's a little weird in the movie.
Only because I preface that the timeline's weird in the movie only because it seems as if it should have been longer to get there. That there's no other timeline issue from that point.
Okay, so given Zach Snyder, if it was any other director, I'd say no. But given Zach Snyder, I'm going to say yes, there is randomly time travel in this movie.
So here's the time travel aspect of the movie.
Okay.
So they may or may not be caught in a time loop.
Are you serious? I want to watch this so much more now.
So there's one point at one point they kind of discover that like another team had been brought in at some point and all got killed, right? So they're like, oh, yeah, there's another team. And then they get like to the vault and they find the other team like dead, right? Like they're not walking dead, just dead. Like they got to the vault and all died, like got eaten by zombies or whatever. Okay. But then upon closer inspection, they notice that one of the dead bodies has the same necklace as like one of the people in their group, and another one is wearing the same Hawaiian shirt as one of the people in their group. And another one has like this, is wielding like as like a circular saw next to him, and he was then cutting zombies with the same circular saw. So they start showing you these bodies, and because Zack Snyder is subtle about this, he's showing you and absolutely then showing you those people and like, frame by frame, so that he can absolutely like hit you over the head with it that these could be the same people.
But do they like die at the end of the movie in the vault?
So then there's even a character that says, hey, those people look like us. I wonder if we're caught in a time loop.
Are they?
Don't know. So because there's nothing ever to indicate otherwise that they are. There's no time travel. There's no rewind. There's no time loop. But and the keychain or the necklace that she's wearing has like a key on it, and there's like 3 circles that hold up the key like in this necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Except for then on the dead body, there's like these 3 circles on the key.
Right.
Okay. But on the character who's like alive walking around, there's 4 circles on the key, thus indicating that perhaps they're in the 4th iteration of this time loop.
So what does that mean? They would die right there though?
Or you would think they'd die in the vault or something. They don't die in the vault. I mean, some people die in the vault, but no, they basically get out of the vault. Oh, and then later, because the one with the Hawaiian shirt's not even in the vault because she's a helicopter pilot. She's on the roof.
So they're in a time loop.
Maybe. But also maybe robot zombies and aliens.
But But
But
that doesn't make sense.
No, not at all.
Why is there a time loop?
Don't know. It's just, it's like at some point he's just like, honestly, I think this is what it is. I think at some point Zack Snyder's writing this, and he's like, you know, what'd be funny is if we just put in all the dumbest things we can think of, like as if we were making all these other movies with no explanation, right? And just as like background noise, just to see if people like talk about it, because how wild would it be if this was a time loop? Or maybe these are like early drafts of the script, and he's like, oh yeah, this is dumb, we can't make a time loop in here. But then they just left that part in as an in-joke. Same thing with like the aliens, right? And same thing with the robot zombies, and possibly even the zombie tiger, I don't know.
Wait. Why? Why?
Why? Which part?
Yes.
Huh. The only explanation I can have is Zack Snyder.
It's definitely a Zack Snyder movie.
I mean, it's all about the Snyder.
I want to watch it.
So I like that. It's a lot of fun. Now, should it be 2 hours and 40 minutes long? No.
Should it be like 2 hours? So, wait. Mm-hmm. I have an explanation. So the movie was originally like director's cut, like 4 hours long, and then he sent it to the studio, and they're like, no, and then he just cut off the whole time loop part, which lasted an hour and 20 minutes.
You know, typically, I'd say, there's no way, that's dumb. However, I just watched Justice League #Snyder Cut, and there was the entire part, the flying hot dog, and so that's very possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know what else it is, so like...
I mean, I've not heard of a director's cut of Army of the Dead, but it's possible. They are making like an Army of the Dead prequel cartoon show and another prequel movie about the Safecracker dude, but...
Cartoon show?
Yeah, Army of the Dead Las Vegas.
Cartoon?
Yeah, obviously.
Right, Zack Snyder.
Right, so it's gonna be an animated series on Netflix.
Is it going to be like rated PG randomly too? Are they going to have a word of the day?
Ooh!
I think they should.
Today's word is decapitation. Can you say decapitation, boys and girls?
No, it's like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Whenever they say decapitation, they all scream.
Ah!
Exactly.
Only if the king can come in and
What?
The king in Pee-wee's Playhouse. There's the king, and then there is obviously a zombie Elvis in Army of the Dead, but he's very, very briefly. Well, I mean, come on, it's Vegas. Of course there's a zombie Elvis.
Right, you know what? I gotta stop asking questions about this one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious. So that's Army of the Dead.
Oh, wait. 0 to 5. 0 being an absolute waste of 2 hours and 40 minutes of your life on a zombie movie. 5 being perfection. How would you rate this zombie heist movie that might cross over Aliens, Terminator, Ocean's 11, and Day of the Dead all at once?
With a time loop.
And possibly, like... It was a good time. Like,
and starring a pro wrestler.
So what would you rate this movie?
We put all that into it. It's a solid 3. It may even on a good... I can't say 3.5 because it's just too long. Like, it definitely... And I'll be honest, I broke this into 2 halves. I watched like the first hour, and then I finished it up because it seemed like it was... Because they don't even get into Vegas until the first hour. So it felt like a good place to stop it. And then kind of my energy level didn't dip on it. I'll say a good solid 3, maybe a 3.5. But seriously, 30 minutes of editing, just maybe cut out some of the overly dramatic slow motion scenes would have helped out tremendously.
And the time loop,
right? Or the entire thing. Oh, back to the aliens thing. This is the entire thing where he brings his daughter with him for reasons, and then she disappears randomly, kind of like at the end of Aliens, and that's why he has to go find her. She's not like 8 like Newt, but yeah, that happens.
Why is the daughter with him?
The daughter's with him because the daughter was in the camp that was around Vegas, and she had a friend who went into Vegas for reasons and who disappeared. But then she remembers that sometimes those people are being captured by like the zombie king guy, and then they can probably escape or be.
Wait.
Hold on, I'm not done. And so she thinks that maybe her friend's being held captive by the zombie king. So her, with 0 training or any military expertise at all, unlike her father Batista, says she's going to go in with the team. So when they go rob the bank, she can go break into the zombie king's lair to then see if her friend is there and alive and help her escape from the zombie king and the horde of all the fast zombies.
Zombie king?
Well, like the alpha guy, yeah.
There's a zombie king?
Well, there's like a head zombie. I mean, he's not necessarily. He doesn't wear a crown or anything.
We're done. Good night.
He's like the alpha zombie. He's like the first fast one.
Good night, everybody.
So yeah, that's Army of the Dead, and I think it's an enjoyable zombie flick. So it's no Zombieland, but it's not bad.
I want to watch Zombieland.
Yeah, we should watch Zombieland. All right, everyone.
Right, bye.
We'll talk to you later. See you soon. Bye. I mean, seriously, time loop. We should do this episode again.